If you want your silly little countdown, 3, 2, 1, you are live.
Dude, crisscross applesauce. Why won't my dick get up out of the basket? ED is a huge problem, and I think we should pay more focus to it. It's not what I wanted my intro to be, but I relate to Titanic. No. You want to know why? Why I relate to Titanic? Because it took me, it takes me God knows how many years to up my kill count on any game. Yeah. So I mean, like, good for them, you know?
Whoop whoop. That was the entire thing.
No,
that you specifically wanted to open with.
No, I like this whole joke. Yeah.
Well, do the whole fucking joke, man.
No, I don't remember it was. That's my issue. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You got me there, and I was like, I was totally blank.
You asked me before we started specifically, hey, let me do the intro. I got a good joke for this about the Titanic, and that was it. And you forgot the rest of the joke.
Yeah.
Oh man. Welcome back, everyone, to the Chaos Continuum podcast. We're back.
I'm Chaos, and he's Continuum.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I look like a goddamn meth head today, but like it's late. We're recording this a lot later than normal.
Yeah, like 30 minutes later.
Yeah, that's enough for the caffeine to leave my system. I've only had one cup of coffee today, and that was away in the morning.
Have you tried injecting it yet?
Just straight injecting caffeine. I've thought about it, but I don't know how well espresso mixes with blood.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. I actually woke up early as fuck today, too. I woke up at like 5 in the morning because there was like a massive thunderstorm going over the city, and like I was snoozing. I was like, just waiting to hear that alarm. And then, I don't know, I just boom, 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 boom. And like, normally thunder does not make me weary at all, but it sounded like a semi-truck had crashed through the wall. So I got up and I was like, what the fuck is that noise? And I was like, oh, it's just thunder.
Man gets up, rolls over, and just a semi-truck right beside him.
Dude, I would be so surprised. I would be surprised that it would if it landed next to me and managed to not kill me. By the way, I also live on a very, very small residential street. I would be surprised that they managed to get a semi-truck in here at speed, because like the trash trucks have a hard time getting through these streets. So like a full 18-wheeler with the trailer would be amazing. It would be a feat, if anything.
I think I'd roll over and I'd be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Be like, wow, I'll worry about that when I have the energy.
Yeah, I will worry about that later.
Yeah, if you're having something, whatever, I would like to get back to Dreamland and escape into my realm of like,
Or I'd like look at it and I'd be like, I need a cigarette first, and I'd climb out of the truck hole and just like sit on top of the truck.
Yeah. I feel like you'd just like open the door and like sit up into the truck next to the driver.
Yeah, probably. He's just like dead.
Hey man. He's just got a thing of rebar like sticking through his face, and you're like, God damn it, I got to do all the work around here.
God damn it, I was asking for a light.
They always call out at the last second.
Light it. Yeah. I'd probably do something like that.
Yeah. I bet you would.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Yes. Like, what's newsy in the
the news? The FTC in the U.S. has approved the Xbox Activision acquisition. Words are not right here right now, but the FTC has approved that, so the Xbox Activision deal is one step closer to going through. They just need to get it approved in the UK, which I still don't understand, because like Microsoft and Activision, as far as I know, are both not UK companies. So the fact that they need approval from a UK board to do things here in America astounds me. And I probably just don't understand it, but
no, the British are taking over again. You know?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I can concede that there's probably a deeper legal explanation for why that's happening. But as an American, I'm like, why are we letting them dirty, coke drinking, messed up teeth having, queen suffering tea drinkers tell us what the fuck to do? Like, Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like, and I live under the British flags, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it's even worse for you. You still have the queen in your life, even after she died.
I knew that. Yeah, I know, right? I go to look at my money, and I'm like, God damn it.
My money's just covered in old dead white people that I forgot about in school. But it's more than one person. Yeah, like the one that got killed by the manhole cover.
Yeah. JFK?
No, the other one. FKJ.
Oh. FK. Oh, I remember him. He did pretty cool things.
Yeah. Anyways.
He was one of the vampires, right?
No. The presidents have long been known for fighting the vampires. It started with Lincoln.
Right.
And then every president from there has succeeded the title of Vampire Slayer. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think Biden's doing with that?
Oh, horribly. But there's a reason why
he's still like dopey all the time.
He's getting the blood drained out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was really bad, and they're just like constantly like draining his blood, so he's just like slowly dying.
There's a really good joke I can make here, but at risk of offending people.
Offending who? Nobody likes Biden. Democrats don't like Biden.
No. I mean, just dude. That's why nobody liked Trump, because he was fighting out them liberal vampires. You know?
Yeah. Trump only fought vampires with blue hair.
Yeah. I'm crazy.
Trump, I feel like Trump would be a good vampire killer, except for he would be a vampire killer in the way that like the Space Marines are, because like if you don't know in Warhammer, like the Space Marines do not care, at least most of them do not care about human life, because human life is just another like currency for them basically. So they if it's a thing in Warhammer, if you're a regular person, like just a regular ass person, if you ever see a Space Marine, it's a bad sign for you, because that means the Space Marines are going to level the planet you're living on while trying to defeat the bad guys. And I feel like that's like Trump's thing, you know?
That's so badass.
Yeah, I will say, out of all those things, I don't want to go on a Warhammer tangent today because we will be here all fucking day, but like,
yeah,
out of all the things I have been reading about and learning about the Warhammer universe, is my favorite so far is Cadia, which the planet of Cadia is like basically this planet where like the top tier guardsmen of the Imperium, the human faction, come from, right? Like it's where all of their toppest, best soldiers are, like, because the planet is basically on the doorstep to the Eye of Chaos, which is basically just fucking hell. So it's literally like Mars in Doom, you know, like it's literally a gateway into hell. So their planet is right next to hell, and they're the first line of defense. So everyone on that planet is trained literally from birth to be the best soldiers possible, right? And because it's right there and it's their first line of defense, whoever, I don't know who exactly it was one of whatever demon princes that Warhammer has, set out to set siege against said planet and destroy it, which he was successful in. But when the planet was literally split down the middle, the guardsmen continued to fight the demon forces that were pushing past it. So it was said in the 40k universe that Cadia is the planet that broke before the guard, which is like the most fucking badass thing to me, you know? Like the fact that their planet was being Death Starred and they continued to fight on the falling apart ruins of their literal homeworld is just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing I love about Warhammer. Like if you get into like the morality type stuff or like the philosophical ideas that Warhammer has, they're often very one note and very boring. And it's like the joy of Warhammer is like the aggressive over the topness of it, the fact that it's so dense and there's so much to it, and the fact that it just produces a lot of really cool fucking like characters, or even just like sentences, like the planet that broke before the guard, like shit like that is, or like the dreadnoughts that are basically space marines that are put into a sarcophagus that's also a mech suit.
Yeah.
So they're like, even in death, I serve, like that kind of shit. You know,
kind of stuff is
like the whole crusade, like the knightly order, and like they fucking talk like they are bringing the hand of God upon you, you know? Like that is the kind of shit that I love about Warhammer.
Dude.
Or a lot of like sci-fi stuff in general, but like, yeah.
I think it's got that sci-fi and like that.
It's very
fantasy. You know what I mean? A little bit, right? But it's like fantasy with it's like violence, you know? But it's got like the knights and your orcs and and like your little necro guys.
It's very much it's on the length of like my favorite sci-fi things. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or just in general, but like my favorite sci-fi things are like stuff that blends sci-fi and fantasy, like Destiny and there was another one, I think Star Wars. Like Star Wars is really good about that, right? Like because it's not science fiction, it's science fiction fantasy. Like it's science fantasy, whatever. Right? Like it's not taking actual scientific principles and just saying what if it was in the future. It's like, no, this is a fantasy thing, but it happens to also be in a relatively scientifically advanced civilization or whatever. And I think it's really cool.
It's not possible that to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they do shit. Like they literally contort with demons and all sorts of other bullshit. Like it's not actually scientifically possible, but it's just it is.
You say that now, but when a portal from hell opens up in 2032, I'm gonna call you and be like, buddy, it's time.
If a portal from hell opens up in 2032, count me fucking lucky, because I swear to God, I will be so happy that we can just escape. And it won't be technically be suicide, so we'll be in the good graces of God, Like, it'll be totally illegal by his book.
I was gonna come to be like, brother, it's time to fight to the death. Like, every man's
No. Just give up. It's a portal to hell, man. Like, I'm not... dude, bro. I could barely wake up for a 9 to 5. Like, you think I'm gonna fucking go fight demons all of a sudden? Fuck no.
Yeah, dude. I think I'd turn into the Doomslayer. I think I'd die.
Yeah, you would think you're the Doomslayer, but you would not be.
Yeah,
you'd be like a character in Red vs. Blue.
Yeah. I have the mindset of the Doomslayer, but not the actual.
Yeah, the mindset, but not the ability.
Yeah.
I
feel like what would you like honestly do? This little segment we want to talk about, but I think it's interesting. So let's say like aliens showed up. Yeah. Some like shit that we could like never think was like possible. Like, what would you do? What would your reaction be?
It depends on what it technically is. Like what aliens? Because if it's like gray matter, like fucking New Mexico aliens that just come down and it's like, oh yeah, they do have a saucer that goes from 0 miles an hour to 500 in less than a second. I'd be like, whoa. That's crazy. I guess they did build the pyramids. But, like, if it's, like, the kind of way out there Mass Effect or, like, Warhammer aliens that, like, come down and, like, they literally, like, split the planet in half, I would be, like, just pinching really hard until, like, I made a hole.
Like, just to wake yourself up?
I'd go to, like, apocalypse mode where I'd be like, okay, the laws of society and, the good nature we've made immediately do not matter. I'm going to, every man for themselves. I'm fucking out of here. Like, I'm gonna do the best I can to hole up and, like, be okay.
We'll start a civilization, yeah.
Yeah.
You can bring your significant other. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll move to Canada. Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, free healthcare, that's bound to exist. Yeah.
Out of all the things after the alien-based apocalypse, free healthcare stays.
Yeah. Okay, so what if they're coming, but they're not going to destroy the planet? Like, there's a guarantee that they're not going to destroy the planet. Yeah.
Well, what are they come here for then? Like, what is the scenario in which they come here? Like, just to say hi? Just to be like, hey, what the fuck are you?
Like conquest? Like conquest, yeah? But they're not going to blow up the planet.
So they come to enslave.
I guess so, yeah.
Then, I hope they leave a lot of sharp spikes off of the side of buildings for me to jump onto.
Really? You just give up?
I don't want to fucking be it. Dude, if they come here and they enslave the entire human race, what the fuck am I going to do?
I'm going to fight back until they kill me.
Well, I mean, you could do that, or you could just die, because you're going to die anyway. So, like, what's the,
But yeah, but I mean, if I'm going to be in God's good graces, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm going to be that one guy in Auschwitz that wrote, if there is a God, I will fight him after he died or whatever. I forget what the whole quote is. I wish I remember that one. If there is a God, he should be afraid of me. I fucking love. Huh?
Sorry, continue. No, you go.
I had posted that. There was some post on Instagram. I don't remember what it was about originally. I think it was something about like, God not being real to that extent. Like it was a whole like thing about that, or just about like atrocities in general and like what that does with faith. And I had posted that quote that was, I don't know if it's technically real. It might just be allegedly it was written on the walls of Auschwitz, right? But it's like I posted that quote and somebody responded to it saying, "Geez, buddy, you don't gotta be so edgy about it." And I was like, it's a literal quote from the Holocaust, allegedly. Like, it's not me being edgy. It's me regurgitating the same values or like the same dissent about God that people who went through atrocities were able to recognize. You know, like God is, like they say, like God is either if he's all powerful, then he doesn't care. And if he does care, then he's not all powerful, because shit like that wouldn't happen, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. So, like, if there was, like, a world, but let's say that the sun exploded, yeah?
Okay.
Right? Like, it's over for us, you know? Like, you are not surviving this.
Yeah. Well, how does the sun... Because if the sun explodes, then we're done right there and then and there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's like let's say you've got like a day. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like they're like, "Yo, you've got a day, and we're all dead." It's over.
In a day, the sun's gonna explode.
Yeah, like in 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would be your things?
I have no fucking clue. I'd probably just like get my partner and stuff and then just like kind of like hang out, and maybe like if the internet is still working at this point, try and like go through different things and basically just have like a day like of like reminiscing of all the things that I've ever like interacted with and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, I think
because a day's not really enough time to go and like do something, like if you want to go like see like anything in particular, especially in the scenario. I don't think anyone's flying plane routes or anything anymore. So I'm not going to drive.
Kind of over.
Yeah.
You know, I think I would spend the day with my son. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the past 4 hours, I'd go to my local liquor store. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd set up a lawn chair outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like chain smoke and drink. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, thank God my AA meeting isn't going to judge me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have you seen that anime? I've always seen a clip of it, but it's a dude in an anime running away from a horde of zombies, like as like the zombie apocalypse is starting, right? And he's running away, and he's like, "Oh man, if this keeps up, I'm gonna be late for work." And then he runs away from the zombies onto the roof of a building, and then he looks out across the city and sees that like cops are getting eaten by zombies, and like the city's on fire and burning down, and society is crumbling apart. And he's like, "Oh my God, it's the apocalypse. That means I don't have to go to work today." Like, it's just the most like, it's the strangest response to have to finding out that like, you know, that kind of.
See, I honestly think that I would know what to do with 24 hours, so I just go about my day as usual.
Yeah, 24 hours is like not enough time to do anything, like even like anywhere. If I had like a year, like that's like a different story. Like, you would be like, you could like plan out each like week and each month and everything like that. Or if you even had like a month or a week, like it's more time. It's time that you have time to plan it out. Versus like a day, like 24 hours. Like,
it's just
what if you're like it's your day off and you like slept in, so you wake up and you like find out there's like 6 hours left.
Dude, I'd be like, fuck, man.
God damn, son of a bitch.
So then here's my next question about this. Yeah.
Huh.
If you were the only one to know that like in like a year or 6 months the world's going to end.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to die, would you tell people?
I'd be very selective.
Who would you tell?
People that I care about. I don't think I would like.
Would you tell me?
Yeah, I wouldn't let go. I don't think I'd care enough to like just go out and be like the world's ending. Because one, I think most people wouldn't believe it, even if I like somehow had truth. Like people still believe in flat Earth. Like they're not gonna believe the world's ending in a year prophecy, right?
Actually, those people might believe it.
Well, yeah, them of all people, but like regular people won't. And then like what was I going to say? It's like you don't want to. If people don't know, it's kind of like that blissful ignorance thing, right? Like, why burden them with the knowledge that they only have a year left?
That's what I was thinking. Like, no offense, but if I knew that, I probably wouldn't even tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, thinking it in that way,
I would feel. I think I would feel guilty.
I would tell everyone in our friend group except for you.
Yeah. What do you mean our friend group? You mean you and me?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that was mean. My bad.
No, it's not wrong, but like, I would tell those people. In our
friend group of 2 people.
Those people we used to hang out with. I would tell them specifically. I'd be like, hey, by the way, no joke. Your character arc has to end right now because it is not gonna be worth it.
I think if I had the proof to like prove it, to full on prove it, I would tell the people that I don't. Yeah, I'd give them a crisis, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm one of the few people that you could tell, because I don't think I'd care. Yeah.
Do you think if you could convince the world, if you can convince the entire world, like world governments that it was happening, you could also get them to work together in order to like evacuate people? Like say it was only Earth and we could like go to Mars, do you think we as a species would have what it takes to export most of the people, or at least the useful people, to like a different planet and start over immediately?
I think so too. My condition would be that I get to bring 10 people with me. Yeah.
Only you and 10 people.
And at least, no, I get to bring 10 people, and then the government can bring whoever the hell they want to bring. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, and I think half of them would be people that I really like. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe 15 people. Because I'm realizing that like my friends also have families. Yeah.
Why would half of them be the ones you like?
Because it'd be so funny to bring the people that hate me. I just hate your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
You owe me. Yeah. You literally owe me your life, buddy.
That's a wild conundrum to just take. You know. I know you hate my guts and all, but I'm saving your life, so you better shape the fuck up.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'd bring you know who, and I'd be like, time to stop your character arc, bud.
Yeah, it's time to knock that shit off, bro. Like,
but you know, God. I don't think I tell. I don't think I tell a lot of people, just because it's like, because I'm thinking that I have the proof that make them believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then if you didn't have the proof, then you're just like 2012
crazy.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just some old Christian guy on the radio telling everybody the rapture is going to happen.
Yeah, and then it doesn't happen, and you lose all your money somehow. Like.
Yeah. And then you try doing it again. Yeah.
And again. And again. And you actually spend so much money that you are the U.S.'s largest marketing campaign in all of history, and still nobody believes you. Like.
Yeah, because you buy billboards for it. You know what I mean?
All across the nation.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing. That's why I'm saying it's the most. Okay. It was the most money spent on an advertising campaign ever. Unironically, I think. I say unironically. I don't know if that's true.
I think we as a species. I think when we're met with a greater force that isn't ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we'd worse something else. Yeah. And if that didn't work, then I'd sneak inside the government and just launch all the nukes and be like, "We're all gonna die anyways."
Yeah.
You know, I'm kidding. Probably.
Yeah. It might be more.
But no, now, I don't. Pardon?
No, never mind. I was looking up the whole marketing thing because I didn't know if I was talking about my ass or not.
But no, I don't think I tell a lot of people. I think that's like such a destruction in somebody's life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I would tell people I know, but that like I don't really like that. I would be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna plan a trip. I'm gonna take some vacation time. I'm gonna go on a trip so we can come and like hang out for a week or so, whatever, and then tell them I'm planning it for the day that the world is gonna end. So
I come with you?
I'm not actually gonna go on the trip. I'm just gonna tell them that so that they like clear their schedule and they're prepared to like hang out or whatever, and then the world ends.
Yeah, they all get together in one place, right?
Yeah, like the day that I'm supposed to they're supposed to meet me at the airport or whatever is like the day it ends. So like they're all like getting prepared up at the airport, and then the world just explodes.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And then you and I are sitting there like clinking our champagne glasses.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'd be a
just
great.
Took their final moments with their families away.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be a great villain.
I think I would be too. I think you and I would be great villains. Yeah.
I don't think so. I know so, right? Like. We're just that like different level of unhinged. This is the chaos continuum. Like it is.
This is the beginning of an arc. This is the beginning of an arc.
Yeah. Does that mean we got to smoke a lot more?
I don't think I can. Like weed.
It's legal in Canada, isn't it?
Like, buddy. Yeah, no, it's legal everywhere. Yeah.
Oh damn, lucky bastards.
I say we're on villain arcs, not like we're on super villain arcs. We have to start drinking. Yeah.
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 You're a villain, all right. Just not a super one.
Just raises bottle of vodka.
Just not a super one. You just like pick up the Rocky IV Russian accent immediately, like. Oh God. So. Speaking of Rocky, by the way, this has nothing to do with Rocky. I wanted to bring up video games that you thought were like genre defining. We've talked about Batman a lot on this podcast already, 8 episodes in, and we've talked about Batman more than any other character. Maybe Optimus Prime, maybe the Manhole cover, but like other games. What other games do you think have like kind of impacted gaming, like metas of how games are made on a whole? That like you can physically see like after the game comes out, every other game is like doing that same thing.
I think we talked about this before, but Assassin's Creed is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
I think Assassin's Creed
like 2 through Brotherhood really helped to like kind of push for the saturation that we have now with when it comes to like open world games that have like 100 meaningless collectibles.
Yeah.
Like that was Assassin's Creed's entire brand.
Would you say the Fallout series, not necessarily like the Bethesda ones, or like kind of the I can't remember the RPG stuff?
Yeah, Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, Fallout 1 and 2, and even like New Vegas and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So I still think maybe that's an impact, you know what I mean?
Are you talking about open worlds?
Like an open world kind of like RPG. Yeah.
Oh, just like in RPGs? I don't know enough about Fallout 1 and 2. I think Fallout New Vegas... No, because Fallout New Vegas is like far too detailed for what most RPGs go for. I think a game like The Witcher 3, unironically, has made a big impact on RPGs a lot recently, and you could see it in the way that the games even Assassin's Creed has like copied the Witcher format, right? Like, Fallout is like even Fallout tried to be less like Fallout, so I don't think it was necessarily as powerful. I think Fallout could have played a huge role in popularizing like the retro future post-apocalyptic thing, because the only other game series that I can think of that did that was BioShock and Metro, not really.
Well, when did Rage come out?
Well, Rage not like post-apocalyptic. I'm talking about like the dystopian post-apocalyptic, like how Fallout is like the adjusted nuclear age. Like games like BioShock, Fallout, Atomic Heart, like that kind of style of game. I feel like Fallout could have easily popularized that. Not necessarily post-apocalyptic games in general.
And Rage was made by Bethesda too, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, or like backed by it, whatever the word I'm looking for is.
Founded.
I don't feel like there's a lot of like big games that like, you know what I mean?
I would say,
and maybe that's
it's in smaller capacities. I had this argument with someone a while ago. Is that like Fortnite has been so earthquake shattering to the gaming landscape as a whole. Somebody told me like this is wrong because PUBG did the whole battle royale thing first, and PUBG was popular first. It's like, okay, it was, but if you look at people that don't even play video games, they know what Fortnite is. People who don't play video games don't have a fucking clue what PUBG is. Fortnite, it is hard to comprehend how fucking massive Fortnite has been and how big it's grown, right?
Dude, like going back and playing it, now that they've added no build, game's kind of fun. Yeah.
I played one match of it and I didn't hate it, but it's like the biggest issue for me in Fortnite is like we talked about this earlier today on something else, but like I can't play it alone. Like it's one of those games that like I could probably have a good time and fuck around in it, but I gotta have a full fucking squad of people to like.
I feel like I also gotta chill out some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I want really funny bits, I gotta chill out some money for this game.
I would buy the Kratos. I would pick up the Kratos.
But I think that's the other thing. Like going back playing Fortnite now, from like, 'cause I played it a long time.
Because now you can have Ariana Grande, Master Chief, Kratos, Marcus Phoenix, Doom Guy, Geralt from The Witcher, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, fucking Goku, Naruto, all in the same fucking match.
I can watch like Joker execute Master Chief with a 12-gauge.
Yeah, unironically. And then Darth Vader does the gritty on him. Like, it's so fucking stupid how many characters are in that game. And
it's such a bizarre experience.
A part of me kind of loves it, and a part of me wishes that the store wasn't so FOMO. Like, I would probably honestly spend money, or I would play, if I played Fortnite a lot, I would probably spend money if they just left all their stuff up like infinitely, you know? Because then I'd be like, oh, I want this one, and this one, instead of like tune into the game every 2 weeks and maybe the one that like you have an interest in is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to save $20 to like fucking spend money on a Fortnite skin. Like, that's not what the game is right now.
Yeah.
But
I do think also they were just huge with like battle passes.
Yeah, battle pass is something that they fucking... Every game had a battle pass after Fortnite. For Honor has a battle pass. Like, Call of Duty.
Siege has a battle pass.
Siege has a battle pass. Fucking everything. I'm surprised Minecraft doesn't have one, you know? Like, every single game has a battle pass. And, like, Battle Royale games just have it verbatim at the start. Like...
Yeah.
Like, games like Apex. Apex only exists because of the success of, like, Fortnite, you know? It wouldn't exist without that. We would probably just get Titanfall 3.
Which, honestly, kind of would have preferred.
Yeah, me too. But Apex was fun for a while, but then it's like Siege, where it's like really good, and then they do something that like fucks it up. And that's like my biggest problem with live service games, is that they're never really consistent. I think the most consistent live service game that I've played is Destiny, but that's also because I've played it way later after like the majority of updates. That's why I'm saying I've played it way later after a majority of updates.
Disagree.
Okay.
Even now, bro, they make these little changes, and I'm like, I'm done.
Well, they make the little changes, but they don't do anything massive that completely changes my experience of the game as a casual fan, right?
Yes, they do.
Like what?
They changed it so that the Valor game mode isn't just like survival. There's now this capture the flag shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing because I play it casually. I don't play the competitive game modes. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, versus a game like Siege or Apex that literally changes its UI pretty much every season now. Like, it makes it harder to like get back into the game when everything about the game is completely fucking different for no reason. Sometimes
I think Destiny does it a little bit, as somebody who doesn't play that consistently anymore, that I get in and now suddenly the gun that I have is garbage. You know? Right? And I have no control over that fact. Right?
Yeah.
And now I gotta go grind out like some stupid strike or like whatever the
I just figured out what the synthwave templates are, and that shit took me fucking forever to get just a few of them. Like
What,
that
like
game
the strands,
is
or
no the synthwave, like the transmog system.
yeah, so like
Like
the
it's
synth strands.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's not
so
really the same thing.
stupid. It's well, I thought you were talking
Yeah,
about strand, like the ability, but it's like it's so stupid that even if you're a paid player, like I've paid for all of the DLC in Destiny, like I own all of the expansions and stuff, and I still have to grind out every single little thing. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like I get if you want to make it grindy, if it's free to play, because then you want to keep people in your game for longer, and then it also encourages them to spend money. But if I've already spent the money, why is it still now grindy? Because now I'm
yeah,
just wasting my time on a thing that I've already spent money on, and I have to like
yeah.
feel like I have to guilt trip myself into playing the game that I'm not having fun with because it's so grindy because I spent money on it. And then when the next
Exactly.
season comes out, I'm going to be like, you know what? I didn't have a whole lot of fun with that last one. I'm not going to spend another, $10, $15, $20 to get this next season just to not have fun with it and feel forced to play it.
That's why you're not thinking like a Destiny player. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I'm
got
just not built for it.
the core point of being a Destiny player. Yeah, is when that
Yeah.
new season comes out. You gotta look in the mirror and go, maybe it'll be fun this time. Yeah.
Maybe just gaslight yourself into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
what
my
I do.
biggest problem with battle passes. Like most battle passes are so fucking grindy that like they require you to play like every day, once a day, every day for like 40 days straight in order to beat it. And it's like, dude, I can't
Yeah.
devote that much time to a
Just
game,
chill out the money.
let alone every
Yeah.
single game. Yeah, or you just pay for it, which I also
That's what I did.
not gonna do.
Few times.
You're losing. But yeah.
I remember, like, I remember bought me the battle pass for the longest time.
Huh.
I'd be like, yo, an exotic weapon early, and I'd never, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason. Actually, there is an exotic I use. I use Sweet Business with like that one Titan chest plate that refills your
sir.
auto ammo. It's so nice.
Yes, sir.
The ability
Yes,
to
sir.
just fire for like 3 minutes straight uncontested is so fucking
Yes,
beautiful.
sir.
And I've been playing a lot of Control
Yes,
and
sir.
Crucible, and oh my god, it slaps every time. Oh
Dude,
god.
just wait till I come back. Yeah, we will be the talk of the town.
Yeah,
All of my gear will be shit.
Well,
'Cause
like,
I haven't played in months.
Hey, I can switch to my hunter and we'll both be shit, right? Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
but it's wild how like a game like Fortnite like fucking completely changed
Yeah.
the landscape, right? I think another big game like that is probably like Warframe too. Like Warframe was one of those first on the cusp of like free to play MMOs, right? Like that, like
Yep.
Warframe, and there's another one, War something. You know what I'm talking about?
War Thunder.
Huh?
War Thunder.
Not War Thunder. It was like a first person shooter that was
I know
free
what
to
you're talking
play.
about, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we played
Warface,
it.
something like that, wasn't it?
It might be Warface, but it's like those two were the ones I remember being like the first like free to play games, because every game was still like had the price until Fortnite came out, and then every game was like, why don't we do a free to play option? And then Halo did it, and then Destiny did it, and games that like Destiny that were originally a paid game became free to play over time, which was wild.
Which was wild. And then they took away their stupid fucking DLC, and I still.
Yeah. That's also weird to me, like the vaulting of
Hello?
content. Like, what is the purpose of that? Like
Probably to
outside,
save space. You're not getting a 500 megabyte thing, I'd assume.
maybe
Yeah.
saving space, but like, why not have it? Give them the option. Like that is an option in most games. You know, like in Gears of War, or in Call of Duty games, you can choose to have the campaign installed or not, or have the multiplayer installed or not, and maybe it doesn't all work
Yeah, but
together.
but you still need to keep some of the missions installed, or else you can't do your nightfalls.
Yeah, I guess. Or you just have like all of the content that is necessary, and then stuff like the expansion campaign missions or the campaign like locations, like have those be optional installs.
Well, I was like, you know what, get rid of it, that's fine, but for the people that bought it, let them keep it. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, or give them
Like, in the
something
sense that-
tantamount to it, Give them the DLC's worth in like your in-game currency so they can buy the next season that's upcoming,
Or like in the sense that like you keep the missions available, but only people that have played it can access it. It just doesn't show up. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Like there was this really fun side mission. I can't remember what it was called, but it's how you go Dead Man's Tale. Yeah, and that one was one of the most fun Destiny missions I've ever had because it was purely, basically just puzzles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It was a bunch of puzzle shit, and I was like, it was the most fun that I've had, and I wished it. And I'm like the dungeon stuff, I don't mind. At least like back when I was playing it, right? Like I like that puzzle shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could bitch about Destiny for another hour, by the way.
We could. There's a lot of things we could talk about for an hour. I could talk about Gears for an hour. We could talk about Warhammer for an hour. We could talk about Destiny for an hour. We could talk about Batman for another hour.
Yeah. I don't think I could talk about Batman for another hour. I just feel like I talk about it so much that any point that I've made is just oversaturated.
That
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's like we're not the Batman podcast.
Yeah. But also, you and I've talked about it so much just behind closed, like behind off camera.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, that's right? So
that
gay.
It's like anything. What?
Nah, there was a thing. Hold on, I'm reading. You keep going. Sorry.
But no, I just feel like that we've already talked about it so much. Anything that I say, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Right? You know?
Yeah.
I just...
Damn, it's just rumors and stuff. I was reading a thing, rumors about Jensen Ackles, the dude who played Soldier Boy and like the Dean from Supernatural, to be the next person to take on the Batman role, but he's just he's not actually confirmed for any live action things yet. He's just voicing Batman again in the War World movie that's coming out later this year, like the animated one.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what the key to being a Destiny player is?
What?
So I tell everybody that wants to get into it. You have to have faith. You have to sit there and you have to gaslight yourself.
You sound like every abusive fan base that exists. Like, I've heard this exact same speech about Gears of War. Like, that's like the thing that's kind of jaded me from liking Gears as much as I have. Because, like, I still do, obviously. Like, Barrett is still back there. But, like, the fact that I have to kind of, like, make myself, like, or to convince myself that I like these games instead of just liking them verbatim.
No. You're not convincing yourself you're liking the game. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hate. I hate Destiny. Yeah. But when you do that raid for that exotic, let's say Vault of Glass for your Vex. Right? Yeah. When you don't get it, you sit there and you're like, next time I'm gonna get it. Yeah. Right. And you just have to gaslight yourself into believing that this is the time every time. Yeah.
See, with the way I play games, you are describing exactly what I'm talking about when I say I don't like it. And I have to gaslight myself into liking it, you know? So, like, that's what I mean. Like, if I have to talk myself into continuing to play a game, it's not a game that I feel like I should be playing.
But also, if you've got, like, I think, like, that is a small portion of it, right? Yeah. And it's kind of a gambling thing, yeah? You know what I mean? Right?
If you just got a bad gambling kick.
Yeah, that's where I get my funny enough, I get my gambling kick from Destiny.
Maybe I don't get it just because I don't have as much like pretense built up around like the items in Destiny. Like I'm not invested in the economy of the items in the game itself. So like I know there's been times where I've like played with people and I've done like a dungeon or something, and it's given me an exotic, and I'm like, oh, I got this exotic, and they're like, no fucking way, you're fucking lying, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's when I got 1K voices or whatever it is, from the last Wish raid, and I got it like 3 times in a row. My raid team kept getting pissed at me.
Yeah, and it's like I don't understand like the chase after. Maybe it's because I don't find like the min-maxing of like builds and stuff in games like Destiny to be the most staggeringly awesome gameplay. Like for me, most of the joy in Destiny comes from the satisfying gunplay. I actually do kind of like Crucible the more I play it. And then like just like the character designs and the fucking Destiny fashion shows I do for myself, I just have fun with. Like it's just sort of like a quiet comfort game to turn on for half an hour, fuck around, and then get off.
That's the kick of it for me, is that some of those guns, those exotics, that's where my gunplay is fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I love, like, you know the gun Crimson, like the hand cannon?
I think so. Is that the one with like the bayonet off the end of it?
That's a 3-round burst hand cannon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you get its masterwork, that shit's got fucking range and it slaps. That's when I played it. Slap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's something so much fun about dodging in a corner. Bah, 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 bah. It hits like a hand cannon.
Yeah.
And it's got the range like a motherfucker, right? You know what I mean? Because I don't find Crucible fun. Like, if I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
For
that's
me,
why, like,
it's just the walk up
I
the
know that
steps to get there that like hinders my experience.
but I think that's for a lot of casual Destiny players.
Yeah.
Right? It's getting over that initial hurdle of understanding that you've got to play a lot of the game
Well,
to get that really good experience.
That on top of the fact that like nothing in Destiny is explained to you. It's very like Elden Ring, Dark Souls in that experience where like I had no, if I wanted to know anything about Destiny, even like the main quests, I've had to look a majority of it up for people to tell me what things are and what they do, because the game does not bother to explain it to you. And it's like those kind of like, yeah, and it's like those kind of barriers to entry. Plus, like the game is so hostile to brand new players that haven't spent a dime on it that like it's so hostile to anyone coming into it.
I also think just the LFGs, especially at Xbox, are so hostile.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just talking about the game itself, like the way the game is designed for a brand new player coming in that hasn't spent a dime.
And I agree. And it's like, I saw this meme, it's like Destiny meme, and it was like, so when does the fun start? Silence. So when does the fun start? And then it's like, it doesn't.
Yeah. You know? It's like,
which is true, right? Like it's a game that I could shit on for eternity, but I also hold close to my heart. But like doing LFG, like looking to do raids and LFGs is so fucking hard because everybody's like, you gotta have more than 21 clears.
Yeah. It's like applying to a job. They're like, this is an entry level position, but you need to have 7 years of experience and a master's degree in accounting. And you're like, isn't this a secretary desk job? And they're like, yes, but you need 10 years of experience, and you had to have talked to the ghost of George Washington in order to get it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
this might be Vault of Glass, but if you haven't beat it 50 times, then we don't want you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I get to a certain degree, because teaching new people how to do it can be one of the most fun and annoying experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I still don't know how to do it properly, because the team that I've done all my raids with cheese every single last thing, because they can't be bothered to teach new people how to do it properly and expect them to do it properly, so they just teach them how to cheese it, and that's it.
Yep. We will once in a blue moon, we all get together, we'll bring on like one new person. Yeah. Like, I'm sure if I get my like at least 5 of us together, you can do a raid with us. Yeah, and we'll teach you how to do it properly once.
The last time I did a new raid, I did it while we were getting drunk and high, and that was, I mean, you can find it on the YouTube channel, Bustin' Pretender, but like, it was so fucking horrific.
I think like what's fun about doing it with at least 5 experienced people, right, is that we have the ability to do it. Yeah, we have done it more than 30 times now. Yeah,
it's fun because you know what you're doing and you're not getting hicked up on like everything. Like when I did the Grasp of Avarice, like the whole dungeon for that thing, like the whole thing was so confusing and nothing was explained, and I was just sort of like going through it that I literally spent like 4 hours getting through the first section with just the puzzles before I even got to like the blimp. And then I had like a buddy come on and join me. We ran through the rest of the dungeon in like 10 minutes. And it's like, why did we like, what the fuck?
I did Deep Zone with a bunch of randoms, and it took us like 3-4 hours to beat. Yeah. And then I did Deep Zone with my buddies, and I don't know how long it took, but it was like mindless. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like you just get into the rhythm of it.
Usually when I'm doing a raid with like randoms, we just got into the rhythm of it, right? Because I think we all stick with like, we all kind of have our usual jobs. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all stand like usually in VOG during like the blimp ones where you got to count the numbers. I always clear ads on right. Yeah, because they can't trust me to be like, I've got 4.
That's what I do. I always get 1, or I do ads. Because it's just the one cube, so I go like, I got 1.
We all have like our specific roles, right? Yeah. And I think it's because it's like, and we all used to our usual callouts, that it's so much more natural. Yeah. And it's like I can do a lot of the raids, and but what makes it fun is the minute we get into one of the newer raids that none of us have done, we are no longer well-oiled machine. Yeah. Yeah, it is screaming, it is drinking, and for some reason, everybody else's parents or girlfriends or boyfriends feel like they need to be a dick at that current moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's time to start some shit.
It's just, it's just like, dude, I remember trying to do Last Wish, and we spent almost 3 days straight because we wouldn't look it up. Yeah, the raids just come out. We just slammed our head against that wall for almost 3 days. Right?
Jesus Christ.
But I think that's half the fun of it, right? Like, as much as that was awful, that's still something that we all laughed about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, one of our buddies puked on his keyboard. Yeah. And just, like, cleaned it off and kept playing.
Yeah. Because that's how you do it.
But yeah, exactly. Because I think the magic for Destiny for me isn't like, yes, I love the whole gambling experience, right? And also to get these cool guns and run into Crucible, or I do a Nightfall and it just feels really cool.
Yeah.
But also just like team stuff, right? You know, and it feels really good to be that kind of well-oiled machine. You know.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking?
It really hit me like a. Sorry.
You know what just hit me? What the fuck is gonna... Are they gonna kill, the fuck is his name? Blue Man Group? Zavala? Yeah. Yeah, that Lance... Because Lance Reddick passed. I feel like they have to kill him. Like, really, like, give him, like, a final last stand like they did Cade. I wonder if that's why they brought Cade back. Because they know, like, because he's out.
Yeah. I'd imagine.
So they like swap, they like tag in Zavala for Cade. But like,
yeah, I know, I'm like, yeah,
because I feel like you can't replace Lance Reddick as Zavala. Like, that's not a character you just like recast. I mean, they could, but it wouldn't be very cool.
I can't wait for them to be done with all their DLCs and the game's just stagnant. Yeah, you know?
Don't they have it planned for like fucking 10 years or whatever?
Yeah, 10 years from now, I'll still be playing it too.
I don't know if
it is definitely a game that I think that, I mean, I don't play it consistently, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's fun to get on once in a while and get pissed off and Crucible and be like, alright, done for a few months. That was fun.
Yeah.
You know? I think, but like, most of like, yeah, just even playing Gambit with them, right? And like, there was this one bit that we were doing where we'd been playing Gambit for like 5 hours, right? Yeah. Trying to like level our Gambit up, right? Okay. And I had made a comment, and I was like, if we don't quit, I'm going to grab my ghost and start slamming into the wall until I'm permanently dead. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, if it's just shit like that, you know, like in those moments, right? And like after playing it for so long, you almost become lucid, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just bright colors on my screen of purple and blue and another kind of blue. Yeah. Red.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah. Destiny, what were we talking about?
Some other
games that define?
I don't know.
Far Cry. That's one I threw up. Far Cry. I guess that's more into the Ubisoft in general and Assassin's Creed, but just like the open world, go to the radio tower, open it up, unlock the map, you know, and take out the outpost.
I think Far Cry, we talked about this in our first podcast. Don't watch that, by the way. But I think
yeah.
Far Cry makes some really good villains. In my mind, yeah.
Far Cry...
I think they do.
I'd say Far Cry 3, 4, and 6 do.
Because Far Cry 3 was probably one of the best. I think Far Cry 3, for how they did their main character, will go down in my brain as probably one of the best ones.
Oh, yeah. Because it had purpose. Far Cry 4 had a little bit less of that disconnect. Like, RJ is not really a person, but Pagan has enough kind of charisma to carry it, and he's really interesting. Far Cry 5, we talked about it. I think they're way too spread out, and they're, like, all so undefined that, like, yeah, sure, there's a lot of conceptually cool things, but, like, there's a lot of wasted potential. And then Far Cry 6, Anton Castillo is such a fucking cool person in such a not very cool world. Like, Giancarlo Esposito is one of the best fucking actors of all time, and he's really good at doing the really menacing roles, like Gus Fring and the what's the other one? The CEO from Voss in The Boys and stuff like that. Like, he's really, really fucking good at that role. And Anton was fucking wasted on Far Cry 6 because Far Cry 6 couldn't decide if it wanted to be a, like, haha, let's get drunk on the beach, and, like, it kind of, like, it doesn't mesh that line between seriousness and, like, stupid that, like, Just Cause does, because Just Cause 3 has basically the same exact plot that Far Cry 6 does, right? Like, this semi-Mediterranean South American island is taken over by a dictator person who comes to his home to see that like the dictator is taken over, and it's his job to take over the dictator or to kick him out, right?
Yeah.
And Just Cause 3 does it because it stays consistent the whole way through. Rico stays a consistently like kind of snarky character the entire way through, and it plays the entire way. Versus like a character like Danny in Far Cry 6 goes from 1 second going, oh, we're gonna get drunk on the beach and forget about the war that we're fighting, to in the next fucking thing talking to Juan and being like, I know who you are because you're me, and like trying to have the serious moment that has no foundation built for it whatsoever. And it's like, it's so jarring to go between like the scenes with the heroes and a scene with Anton where he's like shooting his cousin because he betrayed him in some way, that like it feels like you're almost watching two different games. Like they somehow managed to blend like the crappiness of like a Star Wars adventure with like the top tier espionage and like kind of not espionage but like the dramatics and like internal conflict of a faction of like a Game of Thrones character, you know? Like it's like one side of the coin is like fucking polished. It's kind of like half face, two faces coin, where it's like one side of the coin is okay and the other side is like scorched. Like that's exactly what the fucking thing is. That's what Far Cry 6 is.
Yeah. I think for just by far though, Far Cry 3 is probably one of my top games. Speaking of Far Cry.
Yeah.
I haven't played Far Cry 6. But I think Far Cry 3 because it left me kind of like, whoa. You know what I mean?
I think I'll always like Far Cry 3 a little bit less just because of like, I don't know, there's just a sense of like nostalgia that I don't have for it particularly, you know? Like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is like my favorite Far Cry game. I understand like the epitome and like the hurdles that Far Cry 3 has gone through to be like what it is now, but it's like it's not, I don't know, I just for whatever reason just don't hold it in such high regard as everyone else does.
I don't hold it. See, when I say it's in some of my top favorites, I guess it should like more spit. There's a lot more above that, right?
Well, yeah. But it's like I treat like, Far Cry 3 in like the opposite way that I treat like God of War Ragnarok, you know? Like I feel like God of War 2018 Ragnarok are like overall people understand that it's good, but they like don't really care about it more than that, right? Like it's a good fucking game, but there's nothing more else to say about it. Like that's how I am with Far Cry 3. Like it's a really good fucking game, but I'm gonna leave it there because there's nothing else about it that really interests me. Like the world and the story isn't so interesting to me as much as far as like the initial moral question of like, you know, good person slowly becoming bad and shit like that and corrupted and whatever.
Yeah, and. Yeah, it's not one of those, like, when I, like, if I'm talking about, like, what games I really enjoy, it usually never comes up. It's very much, like, if I run through all of those games, like Destiny, Batman, like the Arkham series.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, stuff like that, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
You know? I think Guardians of the Galaxy, like, the video game, should have gotten more of a spotlight.
Criminally underrated. I think...
I agree.
It is so fucking horrific that the Avengers game came out before Guardians of the Galaxy. I wish
the Avengers game was...
Guardians came out first only because it would make Avengers look that much worse, right? If Guardians came out first, everyone would have their attention on it, and they would be like, oh my god, this is one of the best fucking adventure games I've ever fucking played. And then Avengers would come out, and they'd be like, who the fuck dropped the ball here, you know? Like, it would be a fucking Redfall situation. But, like... the fact that Avengers had come out first and they did everything worse. Like, Avengers literally had a Spider-Man character come out after the Spider-Man game and did it worse than Lego Spider-Man. And it's like, how are you going to fuck up Spider-Man worse than Lego Spider-Man? And then, like, that entire, like, shadow of, like, fucked up game completely destroyed, like, Guardians of the Galaxy's chances, I think. Especially because, like, nothing really came out in 2022. Or 21, actually. Yeah. So it's like it didn't have a lot of competition either. It was just like completely overshadowed.
Yeah, I think the game definitely deserves more recognition.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking good. Like the aesthetics, like they're my favorite. Like I think they're my favorite version of the Guardians. Like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was really good, but I think as far as that line between like really like comic out there-ness and like the kind of grounded family dynamic that the movies give them, I think the game strikes a nearly perfect balance for the characters. Because like none of the characters in the game feel like they're one note to me. Like in the movies, up until like Volume 3, Drax to me felt like the stupid, the fat big dude who's stupid and is stupid, and that's the joke. But like in the game, Drax is like not stupid, he just doesn't understand, which is like what the first movie did a little bit better, right? Like he just literally does not understand idioms, which is a funny bit. Yeah. But he's still an intellectual person. Like when you talk to him in the game, like he will say some straight up shit that is like not bad advice, or like it's just straight up fucking smart. And it's like you could not imagine the movie version of Drax doing this, because the movie version of Drax is so fucking dumbed down and is like so fucking puny in relative terms.
Well, it's like, what's that one scene where he's standing, he's like eating chips? Yeah, I think it's the beginning of Infinity War.
Yeah, he's like, I stand so still. Yeah.
Can't see me, like that's the most retarded thing.
Yeah. The only characters I would say in the game that don't get as much treatment is Gamora and Groot. Groot, because it's Groot. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do with Groot. I mean, the movie did pretty well with him, but for the game, obviously, I don't think they were going to be able to kill Groot in the game in the same way the movie does. And like that would just be a repeat of his arc from the movie, so it didn't really matter. And then like Gamora had an arc, but her arc was kind of felt like it was shoved in towards the very end of the game. But otherwise, like Rocket, Quill, and Drax are like, I think the best they've ever fucking been in that game.
I agree. I also the designs, like the reason why he has the name Star-Lord. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fact that he gets it from like his favorite band. I mean, it's also sweet in the movies. They're both good. Like, don't get me wrong when I say any of this. The movies are the best some of the best comic book movies of all time. We talk about that too right now, by the way. I think Guardians Volume 3 is top 3 for like the best fucking comic book movies of all time. Not MCU. Because all 3 of the Guardians movies are the best MCU movies flat out. And I don't think you can change my mind on that. Like, even like Avengers Infinity War. Like Infinity War was really fucking hyped the first time you saw it in theaters, but I cannot rewatch that movie. It's too fucking long, and it's got too many like.
I tried rewatching it.
Yeah.
It's too long and too drawn out. Yeah.
It's something like I've noticed more with like the later movies is that like Endgame and Infinity War, they've got nice moments. Like they're not like horrific or anything, but like even like Spider-Man No Way Home, there's points in the movie where it stops because they're letting the audience applause. Which fucking sucks if you're watching it at home on a TV screen, because then it'll just stop for like 5-10 seconds. And you're like, okay. If you add up all of these little 5-second slots where you're waiting for an applause or for people to cheer in the fucking movie theater, this movie would be half an hour shorter. But the fact that you do it every 2 seconds like really takes me out of it.
So, talking about kind of like comic book movies, I might have made the mistake or a really good thing, but one of my friends had watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it was like, there's no comic book movie that's like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And you don't know who the X-Men is. Yeah.
I know who the X-Men
sat down and
or they don't know.
Well, I know, but my other friend, they didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
So I thought you were accusing me. I was like, I know who the fuck the X-Men is. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but...
No, and I got them to sit down and watch Logan, which I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 sounds like it's going to beat that, but I think that is probably another one of my favorite comic book movies.
Oh, it's close, yeah.
And I think it was because I maybe made the mistake because that was her first introduction to any of the X-Men.
It's only down from there. Right. Logan is easily like, if Guardians 3 is top 3 comic book movies of all time, Logan is also top 3.
What do you think? Number 2 or number 3? What?
Personally, for me, it's number 3. But it's really fucking hard to tell. It's been a while since I've seen Logan. But like, number 2 would be Guardians Volume 3. I don't know what the other in the 3 would be. Probably.
So what's your top one? Then?
I don't know. I've not put them all together yet. For me, it would probably be The Batman, just because I like that movie so much. I understand that, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is like a really good movie, but Spider-Man has always not been my favorite hero. I've liked him more and more as time goes on, and like playing the game and stuff. Like I don't dislike Spider-Man, but
I think the movies don't do him justice. Yeah.
Well, I think the animated ones do.
I think
like
so. The
Spider-Verse.
animated ones do, but well, I mean, you're watching it.
It's from a different angle.
I think there's a difference. It's Miles Morales has always been a nice Spider-Man, but I think when I usually talk about Spider-Man, it's a Peter Parker because two very different characters.
Which true, but
which is
just like as far as comic book movies go, like the Across the Spider-Verse or the Spider-Verse movies are just better, I think, on every metric as far as comic book movies go compared to any of the Spider-Man movies, whether it be Sam Raimi or Tom Holland or whatever. I don't know what other movies would be in my top. Maybe Deadpool. Probably the first Deadpool. Deadpool 2 is like really hard because it's like I feel like Deadpool 1 had perfect pacing and then Deadpool 2 just doesn't. Like it's just like it's kind of all over the place. I'm hoping Deadpool 3 is good.
Too far into the chaotic end.
They got a massive paycheck. I mean? Like Deadpool 1 had like that thing that all amazing movies did where they had a budget, right? Like they literally had to cut out scenes because they couldn't afford them and stuff, right? Like that's what I think, having someone who's creative working on a with a ceiling helps fuel that creativity because they have to be more pertinent with the decisions they make, right? Versus like say like Deadpool 2 where they were just able to throw money at it and they were like, what if we do this? Yeah, okay, let's do that. Well, then it's just like you just pile on shit. That's how you get the Star Wars prequels, right? Like you give George Lucas a fucking blank check, we get him writing they fight on a script for 25 minutes and it's just Anakin and Obi-Wan kind of like flailing at each other, right? Like it's just that kind of like inane bullshit. But when you constrict it, like the original Star Wars trilogy, it kind of forces them to do everything they can to make every second of the movie matter. Because every second of that movie is really expensive. Versus like, you know, Deadpool 2, which had all the fucking money in the world to just sort of like shit out whatever. I hope Deadpool 3 is good. Have you seen all the set photos of like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in costume?
Yeah. I was kind of hoping they'd go in a direction for Deadpool 2 that like Vanessa was going to die, and maybe this is because I'm a bit of a nerd. Yeah. But I was kind of hoping they'd go in this more direction that she's actually Lady Death. Yeah.
They still might do that.
Have that whole arc.
Hopefully.
Well, we have that whole arc of why he's kind of suicidal.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd be interested to see. I've seen a few people float the idea around. I would love to see that like Deadpool 3's plot is like he needs to like get to Vanessa, who is like now Lady Death, whatever, and in order to do that he has to like kill the entire like previous X-Men universe so that they can become new in like the MCU or whatever.
We just completely retcon all of
the X-Men, all of the timelines, like
everything.
Like Deadpool kills the Fox X-Men universe, right? Like
he kills the writers.
He just shows up, starts murdering people. It's just it's that scene of Patrick Stewart in Logan where he's laying in bed, but instead of like the X-23 coming up and stabbing him, it's just Deadpool walking in with a pillow and just like slowly suffocating him.
He's going like, shh.
Shh. It's all over. You were in the Doctor Strange movie. It's okay.
You're in the MCU now. It's okay.
It's fucking fantastic that out of all of those Fox movies, we ended up getting Logan. And, eventually Deadpool 2, kind of. But, like, the fact that Logan was born from that universe fucking astounds me. Because I don't know how that movie got made after, like, X-Men Origins and everything.
Yeah. Well, Origins was already on the retcon, yeah? Right?
Was it?
Because didn't Origins came after Future Past, right?
It came before.
Oh, no, it did. Future Past came, and then...
Days of Future Past retconned a lot of stuff.
Which is confusing, because some of them don't make sense. Yeah? Because I think in Days of Future Past, or one of them, they, like, talk about how, like, the mutation was big because of radiation. Yeah? And then they move over, and then they're like, no, actually, there was mutants before that, yeah? Like, what? Shut the fuck up.
I don't know. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen those movies.
Sentinels. Yeah.
Get more what?
Like the Sentinels?
Yeah.
Like the mutant-killing robots?
Yeah.
That have always kind of been around? They did the whole Dark Phoenix thing I was super unhappy about.
I have seen one really cool comic book panel, which is like it's Wolverine, Cyclops, and someone else like fighting a Sentinel, right? And like,
yeah,
they're fighting it, and they just like can't get rid of it. And Cyclops like tells everyone to get down, and they're like, "What are you gonna do?" And he just says like, "I'm gonna get this thing off my lawn." And he like takes off his visor, and the whole panel just turns bright red, and you can just see the silhouettes of the three characters in like the bottom corner. And then the red fades away, and it's just like the ashes of a Sentinel against the tree line, and Wolverine going, "Oh, that's why he's in charge." And it's like there's no like elements of like that kind of team dynamic in the X-Men in any of the movies, I don't think.
Well, because they never get the opportunity to build up on that.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
They do like
they retconned it.
The Zack Snyder Justice League thing, where it's either they're not friends at all, or they're all of a sudden they're a team of crime-fighting superheroes, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because they don't get to like they don't build that up. Right?
Yeah,
and I think it's what really sucks because there's a lot of building. You know,
well, the only character
I think that like
the only characters that get any development in those movies is like Magneto, Professor X, and Wolverine. They're like the main characters, and nobody else. Everyone else gets sidelined.
I think Wolverine usually sidelines a lot of people. Yeah, you know? Because I know he's not the main character, but also that there's like you know, maybe this is just me, but I think the new X-Men, if they made it, I really wish they would have included, Rogue and Gambit. I would have really loved that. Yeah,
I think they will.
You know,
hopefully, but like
because that's like two. I think those are like two iconic characters.
I also love it. I hope we're entering an era of comic book movies, like with Aquaman, and now like the new Wolverine costume, and like the new Spider-Man costume from the end of No Way Home, and shit like that. That we can finally go into an age of the comic accurate suits. Like, I get that you don't want them to be so gimmicky, but like they don't look bad. Like all of these suits that they've made that are comic accurate, like the new Wolverine one, that actually looks fucking cool. Like, you don't have to make it 1-to-1 spandex. Like, do what they're doing. Like, it's not spandex, but it's still the yellow and blue suit. Like, make it work.
I do kind of hope that maybe this is like silly, but I do kind of hope Wolverine at some point gets his original mask. Yeah,
the cowl.
Because I thought,
I think he will have it.
That looked a lot cooler. I think that looked cooler than his stupid fucking hair. You know?
Yeah, I think Wolverine's hair works when he's wearing like the white beater with like the dog tags, right? Like that's his look for that.
Yeah.
And he's got like a cigar and he's like murdering someone in a Canadian bar. But like if he's got the suit on, he's got to have the whole suit on.
He's got to have the whole thing, right?
Maybe just because I didn't watch the TV show a lot, but I do kind of prefer like the yellow and brown Wolverine over like the yellow and blue.
I think some of them do like yellow and black. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like,
well, there's the one that's like yellow and black, and it's got like brown stripes as well.
Yeah, that one's all right. I think that yellow is probably like the most prominent. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yellow has to be there.
I also think that Beast as a diplomat, I prefer and as a scientist, I prefer over this new Beast that they have. Yeah.
What's the new one?
Like in the cartoon. Well, he's just like this nerdy scientist guy.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But like in the cartoons, he's just like, and
he's
the
like
fact
the
that
speaker.
He can like turn it off and on. The fact that he can turn it off and on feels weird because I think he's like the speaker, but he clearly looks like a mute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That adds something to it, right?
Yeah.
I think also the thing that I think because Rogue doing Rogue is really hard for her backstory because she like absorbed one of like the other superheroes' powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's why she's got like super strength and flight.
Yeah. She murdered somebody.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It like even Cyclops in the comics looks cooler. You know?
Yeah.
Like that stupid black leather suit. Yeah.
Yeah, the black leather jacket with like the red Daredevil shades, like.
Yeah.
Just give him the visor. The visor.
I mean, like the shades. The visors was fine and the shades are fine. Yeah, I think it's just like that black leather with the visor.
Yeah.
You know.
They try to make him look like Spec Ops dudes, and it's like, dude, this man shoots laser beams from his fucking eyeballs. Why are you trying to go the realistic route? Like.
This other guy like gets claws, and this other one like summons weather. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, this isn't.
It's wild.
Realistic.
It's like the same thing. We were talking about Superman earlier. We didn't talk about that on the podcast, but I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this is my hot take. I don't think it's so much a hot take, but like we're talking about, I think Metro Man is the most accurate movie Superman because he's just got like that charm and the kind of like friendliness to him that Superman is supposed to have, and he never really has in any of the movies. Like Superman is supposed to be like a fucking Boy Scout who like is almost like the Smokey the Bear, right? Like he's like, don't smoke, kids. Yeah. Like that kind of like fucking character, but also really authentic in a way that like when he says it, he fucking means it. Like he's just trying to be like helpful.
And he's kind of supposed to save a cat from a tree, like we talked about this earlier, which I think seems like the biggest. That Metro Man's kind of got that cocky charm to him.
Yeah, he's a bit more like he knows that he's gonna win or whatever. But like Superman is just like honestly down to earth, caring. Like he's what every country singer like sings that they are, but they aren't. You know, like that's what Superman is supposed to be. Because you know he grew up in fucking Kansas. I hate the fucking Superman Jesus trope so much because it's so stupid. It's like he grew up in Kansas. He got here when he was a baby. He wouldn't have any preconceived notions about being an alien god. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah. Right. And like he's always told to use his powers for good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
he grew up with like Jonathan and Martha Kent, who are like the nicest fucking people on planet Earth. Like why would he have any like? Why is he so cold and unlikable in all the Zack Snyder stuff? Why is he just like a fucking boring nerd?
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. I really hope that at some point they fix the characters.
I hope when they come back. It's been about an hour and 15. But I hope when they come back, do you think they'll be brave enough to use the pink kryptonite?
Dude, I hope so. I want to see. Is that we're talking gay Superman or woman Superman?
No, that's gay Superman.
Well, in some of them, he turns into a woman. Yeah.
What? That might be a different one, but I know it's specifically pink is the gay one.
At least.
Obviously.
At least no. But at least in one.
What if like they changed it so that like the kryptonite that turned Superman gay was just a clear rock, you know? So you get like the Pink Floyd like style thing where it's like whenever Superman grabs it, it just starts like rapidly turning into a rainbow.
I feel like I've already watched this movie somewhere else.
Sharknado, probably. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Gay Superman on the Chaos Continuum podcast. Links to stuff down below. There is a TikTok. I haven't really talked about that at all. There's a TikTok. It'll be down there. I post on it every once in a while when I feel like I can give a fuck too. Any last words for the people?
Yeah. Are you still there?
I asked you any last words for the people.
Oh, any last words? Have a good day.
We are totally fucking professional here. Thank you for watching. Fuck you.